Well, everybody, welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got a special video from Professor G of Investing Simplified. Buy something that goes up a lot. Professor G. I would call him Professor G-Spot, but he's probably never touched that or found that in his entire life. Anyway, we got to react to this video. The shocking truth about Vanguard VT. Oh, here we go again. Total World ETF. Now, Professor G is one of those clowns that has a lot of YouTube subscribers because he tells you stupid dopes exactly what you want to hear. Buy stuff that goes up a lot. And you clowns think you're such freaking geniuses because you buy stuff that goes up a lot. You might as well just buy crypto. Okay, if that's how you think, just buy freaking crypto. But anyway, let's react to this stupid clown video, Professor Non-G-Spot. And I'm going to roast him like he's never been freaking roasted before. Bussy boy.
There's one ETF that gives you ultimate diversification with companies all over the world. Just investing in this one ETF, you can't get more diversified. Now, the S&P 500 is the most famous index fund, but it's not the most diversified. There's only 500 companies.
Well, the S&P 500 isn't an index fund. It's an index, and index funds are derived from the underlying index. But continue.
There's the total US stock market index, which has over 4,000 companies, but those are all in the United States. So yes, it's very diversified, but only in one country. What happens if China decides to collect on our crazy debt and then we have to raise taxes so much that corporations lose crazy profits?
What? Okay, look. China can't just collect on the debt. Okay, here's how the debt works. Local people, people in the United States, they borrow money from the government, or they lend money to the government. The U.S. government pays interest on that. Foreign countries, Japan, China, all these countries buy U.S. treasuries, which is lending the U.S. government money. But the treasuries have a date where they mature. That's where the government has to pay it back. China can't just say, well, I know all these treasuries that we bought from you. They mature in a year or two or whatever. But we're gonna call the debt now. You gotta pay us back right now. That's not how it works, okay? This guy's not like. Let's continue. But this is a very stupid statement that he's making right here. And even if China did collect on our debt, which is only $769 billion, I guess, that we owe to them, that's a small fraction of our debt, okay? And I'm sure there's plenty of other willing buyers out there that would go ahead and lend the U.S. government money. But even if they did, nothing would happen. It just makes no sense, but whatever.
Profit, and thus the stock market in America declines immensely. Or what happens if the rest of the world has had enough of America being the superpower, and they band together and not buy our products anymore, so we lose market share big time, and because of that, lose a bunch of profit, and because of that, the stock market drops.
He just listed the stupidest freaking reasons why you should have global diversification. And we're going to get into it, don't worry. But the reason that those are stupid, okay? Just because let's say people stop buying U.S. products. I mean, yeah, that would crash the U.S. stock market. But there's other reasons to have global diversification than the stupid, insane scenario that China's just going to randomly collect on our debt, even though they can't do that. That's not how it works, number one. And number two, everybody's just going to stop buying U.S. products. Because, of course, none of those things are going to happen. So he's basically proving that, buying VT is, I guess, not that intelligent because of these wild, stupid scenarios that are never going to freaking happen. This guy's a freaking idiot.
My honest opinion is that neither of those scenarios are going to actually happen.
I agree, because they're clownish.
But that it might make sense to make sure that you have the right type of diversification within your portfolio. The best investors do diversify, they just do it differently than you might think. I'm Nolan Govea, my students call me Professor G, and I made this channel to make investing simplified.
I'm a professor, oh my god, I got a doctorate. What a freaking loser. Who gets a doctorate? I don't have freaking time for that, okay? I got money to make. I'm a CPA, that's right, boy. You think your doctorate in fluffing studies is better than my license? Get on your knees.
So let's look at VT, which is the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF. This seeks to track the performance of the FTSE Global All Cap Index, which covers both well-established and still developing markets. I do like that because a lot of international funds just center around developing markets or emerging markets, and so I like that this has both of them. This one also invests in both foreign and...
I don't think that's true. There's plenty of international indexes that track developed markets. I mean, the vast majority of the global market cap is US, number one, which is included in VT, and then developed countries. So like France and England, Willy Wonka Land, and the Reich, and basically very developed countries. A very small portion of VT is in emerging markets, and they're weighted lower by market cap because of the risks. I mean, this isn't that complicated.
And US stocks. Be careful when searching for funds like this one, because even though the name might suggest that it is the total world, because it does say something like blah blah world ETF, look at the actual holdings and look at the actual companies that's represented within the fund, because most of those funds are the whole world minus the United States. And that's much, much different. This ETF is a blend of almost 10,000 stocks. Talk about being diversified. It also has a PE ratio under 20, which is great, and it's composed of a blend of both growth and value stock. VT.
But that's diversification, because I don't know who said that, Peter Lynch or somebody, which means instead of buying all the bad stocks, because it's so easy to find the bad stocks, because it's just bad. Just buy the good stocks, because it's really that easy. That's it, bro. God, you people are fucking stupid!
He is mostly composed of stocks from North America, but...
What? But when you buy VT, you're betting against America. Herka-derka-derka-derk.
But then also from emerging markets, Europe, and Pacific. While it is a total world ETF, its top 10 look very similar to that of the S&P 500 and the total US stock market, with companies like Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, and Google all in the top 10. VT is about $110.
Why is that? Because it's market cap weighted, and the largest companies are in the United States by market cap. That's why. He doesn't understand anything. He's a freaking clown. Oh, it's got the same holdings as the other ones, but blah, 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 blah. So now, of course, he pulls up the past performance chart. How many times I'm so tired of, it's like explaining to a child, don't touch the oven, you're going to burn your hand. Don't touch the oven. You clowns need to figure out on your own, I'm tired of explaining this. Past performance is 100% irrelevant. You are making an investment decision now for the future. Whatever happened in the past is freaking irrelevant. I don't care if your stupid stock went up 10,000%. I don't care if your poopy fart ass coin went up 10,000%. I don't care. I'm buying or deciding to buy something now for the future. So pulling up the chart and thinking it's that easy is just clownery on a nuclear level. But it's so easy, bro. Just buy something. Bro. God, you're stupid.
Today and year to date, it's up almost 8%. For the past year, though, it's up a whopping almost 23%. Now, this is a very nice return that any of us would be happy with, especially
irrelevant
to gain that in a year. But for perspective, the S&P 500 returned over 30% in the last year, and
see? The S&P 500 went up more. So now you should buy the index that went up more in the past, because that's all that matters.
QQQ returned almost 43%, which is double. But there are a couple...
There you go. So, and what do you think everybody loves? You guys are not investors. You're clowns.
Reasons why this ETF might be something strong to be adding to your list. And with this next section, I'll tell you exactly how the richest investors diversify properly to not only build wealth, but also maintain and sustain their riches, and to keep them very safe through any market downturns. First, though, I want to give a very special thank you to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark. Diversification is all about keeping you safe in investing, but what about keeping you with my code SharkVG to get no doubt about
these sponsorships. That was like half the video.
It has a low expense of only 0.07%, which is typical for Vanguard funds, It has almost 10,000 stocks in the ETF, so when you invest in this one ETF, you hold a small piece of almost 10,000 companies. It invests
at market cap weights, which is very important there, Professor G. Efficient markets, have you heard of that? Yeah, markets aren't efficient because I found one stock that was undervalued, but all the other 10,000 really weren't. But I found this one stock, so that means markets are not efficient. But, it's really hard to stock pick because most securities are priced pretty well, but it's not efficient, trust me, bro. So just buy U.S. stocks, overweight them massively. It's so easy, bro. America, I just invent excuses to buy U.S. stocks only to justify the real reason that I'm buying them, which is because they went up a lot. Prove me wrong, clowns.
Invests in companies all over the world, not just outside of the United States, and it has a solid return. Like I said earlier, it does have an almost 23% return in the past year, but we care more about consistency and long term. So let's look at the 10-year average. In the past 10 years, it's had an average appreciation of about 8.5% per year. Definitely not bad. Since 2008, so about 15 years, it's more like 7.5%. Here's the main thing with diversification. Obviously, it's never a smart move to put all of your eggs in one basket like investing in just one company stock. I think we all understand that. It's also not smart to invest in only one sector, like technology or something, even if it is absolutely crushing it right now. So you wouldn't want to invest in just technology type ETFs like VGT or FTEC or SMH, because if something crazy were to happen and the tech sector suddenly got hit hard, your net worth would be depleted. So
But don't buy international stocks, because the only way they'll do good is if China calls our debt. And people stop buying Microsoft products. Yeah!
Diversification is good, but over-diversification is very harmful.
You're talking about an index and you're pulling up Warren Buffett. You clown. Never use a Warren Buffett quote when you're talking about index fund investing. Index fund investing is believing in efficient markets over your working life. Warren Buffett is a stock picker. Why is Warren Buffett on this presentation? Can somebody explain why Warren Buffett's handsome face is on this presentation? I don't understand, Professor G-Spot, non-G-Spot. It makes no sense. But past performance, 10-year consistent, and it's so easy, bro. God, these people are stupid.
Yes, holding companies in different industries and even in different countries does sound smart, but at what cost?
You don't know what the cost is, because you can't predict the future, you massive freaking clown. But here's the really funny thing. Do you believe that past performance does matter? If the answer is yes, do you know that international stocks in some time periods have outperformed U.S. stocks, and that it has been cyclical? So therefore, if you believe past performance does matter, then you should look at the cycles of outperformance of international stocks. And you should probably allocate more to international stocks, because if past performance is important, then just know that there's cycles. And U.S. has done well recently, so therefore international must do well because past performance. Right? Does that make sense? But if you don't believe past performance matters, well then how do you know the future? You don't. Little inconsistency here. But he just finds a selective time period. Oh, look, from this date to this date, U.S. did better, so buy it, and all the idiots on YouTube will think I'm smart and subscribe and, sign up for my clown whatever, and I'll make a bunch of money, and it doesn't matter because I'm an idiot. But, if somebody tells you the truth, they're stupid. They're just, it doesn't make any sense to buy VT, bro. It's so easy. Please subscribe to my channel, bro. Shada, QQQ, yeah. The new 3-fund portfolio, it's the future, bro. God, I hate this man.
What is the actual why behind your investing strategy? If it's just to be as diversified as possible and to do so within just one ETF, then yeah, this thing takes the cake. But if
no, it's not. It's about believing in efficient markets.
Your goal is to build wealth the fastest and have the best return over the longest period of time, this may not be your number one choice.
Yeah, maybe buying poopy ass coin will make you wealthy faster, okay?
Strategy better have way more to do with the possible return that you're going to get, way more than something like diversification or over-diversification. in that regard. For reference, the S&P 500 has about 500 companies, and it has companies from 11 sectors. That's quite diversified, and the only thing that it doesn't have is companies from other countries. But let's compare apples to apples.
No, it also excludes a crap ton of stocks in the United States as well. And I wonder why VOO is more popular than VTI, at least on YouTube. Oh, because it went up a little bit more. I hate this job. What am I doing on YouTube?
Apples. Where VT had a 10-year appreciation of about 8.5% per year, VOO has a 10-year appreciation of about 12.66%. Since inception,
I know which one I'm buying, right?
VT had about 7.5% yearly appreciation, where VOO has had a little over 14%.
So he's comparing inception dates from VT was started like during or right before the financial crisis in 2008. And then VOO was started basically after the financial crisis. So, you know, U.S. stocks, everything went down and then it recovered. And VOO started after that recovery started, or probably roughly when it started. So, yeah, you should never compare since inception. I mean, you shouldn't look at any past performance, but since inception is the worst because funds have different inception dates.
Double. To further drive this point home with an example, we're going to use the 10-year average for both and show you how much money you could actually make in choosing one versus the other. If one invests in
This is like criminally negligent, what he's doing right here. How much could you make? Because it happened in the past. I don't know what to say, ladies. I'm so tired of this. Like, I'm thinking I'm just going to sell out. I'm so tired of the clownery that these people just shit out of their mouths. It's so ridiculous.
VT for 20 years and started with $10,000 and invested $500 per month and received the average of that 8.5% from before, they would have about $352,000. That's a solid amount. But had they instead invested in VOO with that 12.66%,
if you had bought poopy fart ass coin and Bitcoin and Tesla, you'd be a multi-gazillionaire.
they would have over $600,000. That's almost double just by picking the better ETF. Now, I'm not against diversification and I'm not totally against investing in outside countries. I just believe that the largest US companies are going to be taking over market share in those emerging
because you're a fucking idiot.
Countries at some point. And so I'd rather invest in the US companies that are crushed.
Oh, and maybe that's priced, I don't know, maybe it's possibly priced in. Or maybe it's overpriced in because all I hear is U.S. stocks. There can't be a possible, overvaluation of U.S. stocks. No, there's no way. It's impossible. And if you have VT, you have them anyway. You can't lose. Oh.
Crushing it now and that are pretty much going to crush it for a while here. So at the end of the day,
how do you know that? You don't, you idiot. You don't know anything. You're just pulling stuff out of your butt. I know they're going to because I'm Professor G-Spot.
I don't really invest in too many international companies or ETFs.
Shocking. What do you invest in? Oh, your little 3-fund portfolio, which is like, oh my God. Well, I need to cover that later.
But that doesn't mean that they're bad. For those of you that want to and want to have some exposure outside the United States that'll help you sleep at night, I would recommend that you do so, but I would also recommend that you do so with a portion of your portfolio, a small portion, 10, 15, maybe 20%, but not putting in the vast majority of your portfolio a total world ETF. Instead of a dedicated core position.
I'm going evil. I'm so done. I am going to go evil and I'm going to get rich. And I'm going to get so many tax clients and sponsorships. And I'm going to pump out shitty financial advice. And I am going to make it finally, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done.
Position of VT in your portfolio, I'd rather you take that 10% and get an ETF like VXUS that is purely international companies so that you can dedicate the vast majority of your portfolio to the best type of ETFs or positions that will grow your wealth.
Oh my God.
The quickest while keeping you safe. In this video here, I go over my 3-fund portfolio and why this is all you'll ever need.
We're going to react to that one day. Don't worry. Okay, this was a very stupid video. Now, I will shield VT till the day I die. And I will outperform basically all of you over my investing lifetime. Because you clowns are so stupid. Yeah, you think you just buy stuff that goes up. Like, it's true. I mean, I say that 1,000 times. That is literally everybody's investing philosophy. I mean, basically. There's some people out there that obviously pick stocks and whatever. But the vast majority, you just buy, like, you look at the past performance, you buy the index that went up a lot, and you think you're a genius. Everybody loves U.S. stocks. What went up the most in U.S. stocks? Oh, large cap tech. Everybody loves large cap tech. Do you see how this happens? I'm holding VT forever, and I will never change because I understand why I'm investing. I understand the fundamental reason why I have a total world index fund. I don't think a lot of you really understand why you have your portfolios. I think you just have a gut feeling like, oh, I'm going to do 33% this, 33, and you just kind of like, you change your mind every 5 freaking days, and you buy shit that goes up a lot, and it's just pure clownery. Professor G is a moron, okay? But obviously he's got more subscribers, so he must be smarter than me, and you should subscribe to his channel. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Cheers!